welcome back to Making with Miss Dobras. All right, we're going to continue on our design challenges to make things that spin in different ways when you throw them from a height, like off your stairs or something like that, or off a chair. And this one is inspired by a helicopter's wings, and we're using weight at the bottom with a paper clip. All right, so this is from a regular 8.5 by 11 inch paper, and I am going to cut a strip here. And I'm not being specific with how wide it is because I want you to experiment. But just so you know, as a starting point, this is about 3 inches wide and it's 11.5 inches long. And now I'm going to fold it into thirds. Now I can measure this out or I can kind of eyeball it. Now again, with design, you really want to try lots of different designs. So it's okay to just go for it the first time and see what you can do with it. All right, so now we have 3 sections. So I'm going to cut one section in, I'm going to cut right down the middle, okay? Right down the middle to the first line, okay? And those are going to be our helicopter wings. So we're going to fold one way and one the other. And now on this one, I'm going to put some marks here. I am going to make a mark on one side and then on the other side. And if you notice, it's about 1 inch below where we cut the wings. And I'm going to cut it across. Don't cut it all the way across. Just cut it a little bit across. And this is going to allow me to fold this part right here into thirds on top of itself. So I'm going to fold one side over, and then I'm going to fold the other side on top of that. Okay? So this is the basic helicopter spinner. But what we want to do is add some weight at the bottom, and there's different ways we can do it. One way we can do it is by adding a paper clip. Okay? So that's one way, and we can add more paper clips. Another way you can do it is by simply rolling up the bottom, folding up the bottom, and it makes the stem shorter, but it adds weight at the bottom, or you can do both. You can roll it up at the bottom and put a paper clip on it, okay? But if you don't have a paper clip, you can just roll it up at the bottom. Now here is our helicopter spinner, and believe it or not, this spins awesome. When you drop it from a height, you can drop it from on top of a chair or down a staircase, or off a back porch, or whatever you can think of. But this one will spin really cool. It looks cool from the top. Okay, let's do it. Let's try it out. It looks really cool from the top because this part spins. All right, so that's your first helicopter spinner. It's really easy, but I want you to use that to prototype other ideas. So try to experiment with the length and the width and the size of the wings, right? These could be longer or shorter or thinner. This stem right here could be shorter. The weight could be less or more. So try with all kinds of designs. But this helicopter wing is your inspiration. All right, makers, our next helicopter-inspired spinner is an origami helicopter spinner. And it kind of looks like a torpedo. And you need to throw this one from a higher height, because I realize that if you throw it or drop it just from a chair, it's not quite high enough. You need a little bit more height to get it to start spinning, but it's pretty cool too. It's not as good a spinner as this one. This one is so easy and it spins so well, you'll be amazed. But again, we're just using these as ideas, right? These are ideas for us to do our own spinner design that is inspired by these types of wings, okay? All right, let's get into it. Okay, as usual, all you need is square paper. This is origami paper right here, but I'm going to show you on regular paper. Now, this happens to be green paper, but you could use white paper, and I made my paper into a square, like I've shown you many, many times. So you need square paper, and you can experiment with each size. This one made this one, and if you use regular origami paper, it would be more like this size. In True Maker Mindset, I'd like you to explore different papers and different sizes and see what works best. Lines on it. You're going to take your square paper and you're going to point the point towards your tummy, and you're going to do a diagonal fold in half, just like that, and then you're going to open it up. And now we're going to fold it in half again, but a different way, horizontally. Or I like to call this the book fold, because when you open it up, it kind of opens up like a book. And now we want to rotate it and do that same fold over again. So we're going to fold it in half diagonally and vertically. And now we have our folds to start with. Now we're going to take one corner and fold it to the center line. It doesn't matter what corner you start with, but you want to also do it on the opposite corner, okay? So we have 2 folded in like that, and here is probably the hardest fold. This is called a push fold. And did you see what I did? I flipped it over, and when you press it down and you push up from the middle, like if you take your finger underneath and push up on the middle, you're gonna find that there's these 2 edges that push in, okay? So you can actually push this edge in, watch the lines right here, and you're gonna fold that down. Okay, so that's where we have one side. And now I'm gonna take this side and I'm gonna push it in. You can do it 2 at a time or 1 at a time, but you wanna do both sides. Now that's probably the hardest fold, right? You're gonna push these 2 sides in and you get this fold right here. Now I'm not using origami paper, so a little trick I use is I use scissors, the plastic part of the scissors, to press down on my folds because origami paper is thinner and it's easier to fold, and I'm not using origami paper, I'm using regular paper. Now as you can see, this looks like it has little legs, and our next fold is we're going to take one of these points and we're going to fold it towards the middle line, and we're going to do that on the other side as well, and it looks like this. Now I'm going to flip it around and do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take the tip and I'm going to fold it to the center line. All right, so now we have something that looks like this on both sides. Okay, now I'm going to take this flat edge right here and fold that to the center line. And I'm going to do it on the other side. And yes, we're going to flip it over and do it on the back side too. So we're going to do that. We're going to flip it over and do it on this side. Flat line to the center edge. All right, now it's getting pretty thick, so if you're not using origami paper, you might want to use an edge to help you fold it down. Okay, now we're close. Now we're gonna open it on these sides right here. So we're gonna kind of push in these sides right here, and we're gonna open it up. You see that? I'm gonna push those in, and I'm gonna open this up. So now it's just flat on both sides, okay? And again, I like to go over my folds each time. Okay, now we need to make the wings, the helicopter blades. So we're gonna take this and pull this up as far as we can before it wants to stop, and then we are gonna fold it over at a 90-degree angle. A 90-degree angle is like a corner. And then we're going to take the other side and we're going to fold it over opposite. Okay? So it's going to look like that. So one side's like this, one side's like this. And now you can go out and test this and throw this and see if this twirls, but I'm going to show you a little trick that'll make it twirl a little better. Is you take a pencil or something like this, and you take the point and you wrap the point around it, just on top, and you roll it in a little bit, and it's going to give it this like little curl, okay? And that's going to help it to twirl. So you take this side, and you may want to play around with the angle that you use to roll this up and see if that makes a difference. But you're going to get something like this. So here is our little origami helicopter spinner. It doesn't look much like a helicopter to me, but it does to me look like it mimics nature, like a leaf that's twirling in the wind. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna drop it from a height, maybe off of a staircase or a porch, a front porch or a back porch, whatever height you can get to, but be safe, of course. And we're gonna see how this spins, all right? And then finally, take both these designs, use them as inspiration to design your own helicopter-inspired spinner. I know you can do it. This is the design and making process, is trying out different ideas and then tinkering with them and trying to make them better, and then trying to come up with your own idea to make a spinner. All right, have fun with it. And as usual, stay safe out there and keep on making it.